Okay, I'm out here in the shop after a long, well, not that long of an absence, but I'm completely off my pain meds now. I did sit down and try to work on my engine when I was on the pain meds, and I just felt kind of disconnected, so I didn't do that. Instead, I did spend some time on the coolant system on my NC machine. I wanted air blast along with my flood, and I wanted it controlled by the console also, so I could pick between flood and air blast. So I went ahead and made a little control box so I can go from air blast to flood, and I can put it in manual, which will turn it on right away like that. That's, I don't know if you can hear it or not, but the air blast is running now. And then if I switch this to flood, then the flood starts. Then I can go back to air blast. And then plus, in the center is off, so neither one is going to turn it on. But if I put it to console, I can go over here on my console, on my software, and I can go, which will be controlled by the program then, and that turns the air on. And then I can, like I say, I can go ahead and pick it to flood instead of air, and it'll run air. Or I can switch it off a console onto nothing, and then it won't have anything. It won't have any coolant at all. So anyway, I think that's going to be a nice little addition, because it always bugged me when I wanted to turn the flood off. I'd have to go in there and in the software and click on it instead of just flipping a switch. Now I can just flip a switch, and the console's none the wiser, doesn't know. It's still putting out its voltage to the relay. I've got relay in there, so everything, the power that's going to the air relay, air blast, and coolant pump is totally isolated from the console and from the controller. So the controller doesn't see any of that. The controller just puts out a signal to the power relay, and it flips over. And if I put it in manual, then obviously I'm overriding that and putting a signal to that relay, and it's turning it on. And then plus I put fuse protection on everything, because I didn't want to mess up and burn out something in my controller. So I've got 0.2 amp fuses in everything, in the main power and back to the console. I got two different fuses. So anyway, I got that done, and today I think I'm going to try to ease back into the motor here and maybe work on the push rods and stuff, and get those rockers on the second engine. Once I get that done, I'm going to work on a spark plug boot die, or die form, I should say, and not exactly sure how big to make it or how to proceed, but I'm going to try to follow what the originator did, what Steve did with his. But instead of making an injection port where you can slide something in and push it in, I'm going to use I went to TSE and bought a few syringes, so I can just kind of suck up the solution and then inject it that way. These syringes I've used them before in the shop. You may have seen them laying around in the background thinking, huh, like they do have one here, and they work good for oil and stuff, and you know, like on little steam engines, to get a couple drops of oil right where you want them. But I'm going to go ahead and try to use that with this rubber compound that I got off the internet. It's supposed to be a shore of, I can't remember what the number is, 62 or 63 or something like that, but it's supposed to be comparable to the rubber in the tire, so it should be pretty stout rubber. So I haven't tried any of it yet. I'm going, like I say, if I get the mold made today, I may try one and just see how it goes, and I'll keep you updated on that. But for now, I think I'm going to sit down and do some push rods and get them rockers on the second engine all set up and ready to go. So I'll catch you later.